types of errors. Types of errors. So types of errors. So actually there are mainly two types of errors. First one is systematic error. First one is what? Systematic error. And second one is, we can say second one is that random error. A random error. Okay, now let us see one by one. First one is what? First one is systematic error. So here systematic error means, so first one is, let me write, that is systematic error. So actually systematic error which occurs according to a definite pattern. That means whatever the errors obtained here, they should be in one particular direction. That means they should be either positive or they should be negative. So that we can say that the systematic errors, they have to follow a particular pattern. That's why the name is given as systematic error. Okay, so the errors, they have to follow a particular pattern. Okay, that is what systematic error. So and in this systematic error, so actually there are mainly three types. So further the systematic errors are classified into three types. First one is instrumental error. First one is instrumental error. So from the name itself we can say instrumental error means the error caused due to the faulty design, or we can say that improper design of the instrument. Because of the improper calibration of the instrument, the errors are occurred, and that is what instrumental error. ಅಂದರೆ ಎರರು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಂಪ್ರಾಪರಾಗಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲಿಬ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಎರರು ನಮಗೆ ಆಕರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಎರರಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನು ಅನ್ಬೇಕು? ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಎರರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಾದರೆ, ಯು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್, so in the previous class I have discussed about vernier calipers. Okay, of course in a regular lab we'll study about vernier calipers in detail. So this vernier calipers, this instrument, it has two scales. One is vernier scale and another one is main scale anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Suppose if the vernier the first division of the vernier scale, if that coincides exactly with the first division of the main scale, then we can say that the vernier calipers instrument is perfect. It is free from errors. Okay, if in case, if the first division of the vernier scale, if that does not coincide with the first division of the main scale, then we can say that it has some errors. And with the help of that vernier calipers, if you measure the length of any object, okay, you may not get the proper readings. That means whatever the readings measured from the vernier calipers, they will not match with the true value. They will not match with the standard value. So this is one example. So ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಾವು ಈಗ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಮಷೀನ್. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದಾಗ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸನ್ನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಾಯ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ, ಸೊ ವೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಮಷೀನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಓಕೆನಾ, ತಕ್ಕಡಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ತಕ್ಕಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಡ್ಲಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಮಿಡ್ಲಿಗೆ ಇತ್ತಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದಾಗೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸ್ಲೈಟಾಗಿ ಲೆಫ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ರೈಟಿಗೆ ಟಿಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರೆ, ಓಕೆನಾ, ಸೊ ಆ ವೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಮಷೀನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಫಾಲ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದಂಗೆ. ಸೊ ಓಕೆನಾ, ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಫಾಲ್ಟಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ನಾವು ವೇ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ನಮಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಎರರ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸು ರಾಂಗ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಲೈಟ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸಲ್ಲಿ. So the error has caused because of the instruments. So that is what instrumental error. Okay, and this is the first type of the systematic error. And the second type of systematic error is what? That is personal error. Personal error. Personal error means the errors, they are caused by the careless of an observer. That is what personal error. From the name itself we can tell the meaning. Personal error andre observer who the person doing the experiment, okay, because of his carelessness, okay, the errors will be occurred. That is what personal error. Okay, example togolodadre, if I take the example of simple pendulum, let us imagine a student is there and he wants to measure the time period of a pendulum in the lab, okay, and ಸೊ ಈಗ ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ವಾಚ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ವಾಚ್ನ ಅವನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಆ ಪೆಂಡುಲಮ್ ಬಾಬನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗ ಅವನು ಫ್ರೀ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಆ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ವಾಚ್ನ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಅವನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ವಾಚ್ನ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ನಮಗೆ ವೇರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಎರರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವೈ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಡ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ carelessness of an observer it has happened, and that is what personal error. So keep it in mind, personal error means the errors they are occurred because of the carelessness of an observer. That is what personal error. Okay, and third type of systematic error is what? That is natural error. Natural error. So the errors which are occurred due to the change in the condition of the environment, they are what? Natural errors. That means naturally occurring errors are what? Natural errors. So they are not under our control. Okay, so for example, let us if you want to find the melting point of an ice under the normal pressure, we can easily find the melting point of ice. If the pressure changes, then what happens? The melting point also slightly varies. Okay, because of the atmospheric conditions, okay, there may be changes in the melting point. So that is not under our control. That is what? Natural error. Okay, so these are the three types of systematic errors. First one is instrumental error, second one is personal error, and third one is natural error. Okay, and one more thing, and these systematic errors, they can be eliminated by finding their causes. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಯಾಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎರರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದರ ಕಾಸನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಿಕಾಷನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಕಾಷನ್ಸನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಎರರ್ಸ್ನ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ದ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಎರರ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನೌ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಿ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಎರರ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಎರರ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಎರರ್ ಯಾವುದು? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಎರರ್. ಸೊ random errors actually they are occurred and we can't tell the exact reason for them. So I can say that the random errors they are due to the unknown reasons. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಾವು ರೀಸನ್ ಹೇಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಎರರ್ಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ರೀಸನ್ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಎರರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವೇನು ಅನ್ಬೇಕು? ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಎರರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಎರರ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಅವರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದ ಗುಡ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವೀಗೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಎನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಸೆವೆರಲ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ಸನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅಷ್ಟೇ 1-2 ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಸೇ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ದ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ x1. ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ದ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ x2. ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ದ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ x3. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ we have to repeat the experiment and we have to take n number of readings. Okay, several readings na ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. Okay, ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು we have to take the mean of those. Okay, suppose ಏನಾದರೂ ನಾನೊಂದು n number of readings na ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ಅದರ ಮೀನ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀರಾ? x mean can be taken as okay x1 plus x2 plus x3 so on up to xn divided by n. So if you do this calculation we can correct the random error. Are you understanding? So as I said, these random errors, okay, so they are caused and we can't tell the exact reason for them. They are not under our control. Okay, to minimize the random errors, what you have to take? We have to now let us see how the errors can be expressed. So actually errors can be expressed in three different ways. So they are, first one is absolute error, second one is relative error, and last one is percentage error. So now let us try to understand the meaning of first one, that is absolute error. So absolute error ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಇವಾಗ. Absolute error. Now first let me write the definition of absolute error. Absolute error means it is the difference between individual measurements and true value, or you can call that one as standard value of physical quantity. That is what absolute error. So absolute error andre that is the difference between the individual measurements. So or we can say that observed values which has taken from the experiment, okay, and true value of the quantity. Okay, ಅವೆರಡರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, absolute error ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So it is the difference between the individual measurements and the true value of the physical quantity. That is what absolute error. So let me take A1 and A2, A3, so on up to An. These are the individual measurements, and these are obtained from the experiment. Okay, and now if I want to take the mean of these values, I can write A mean. So that equals, what I have to do, I have to add all the measurements. So like A1 plus A2 plus A3 up to An divided by, okay, how many trials are there? N number of trials are there. It has started from A1, okay, A2, A3 up to N is there. So N number of trials are there. So I can take divided by N. Okay, or you can write this expression in other way, like A mean equals A1, A2, A3, so on up to N. They can be written as summation of AI. Okay, I equals 1 up to N. ಸೊ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ I equals 1 ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಸೊ I equals 1 ತೊಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಎ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ I can take 1. ಓಕೆ, then I will get the value of first value, that is A1. So if I want the second reading, then what I have to do, in place of I have to take I equals 2. I equals 2 ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ A2. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ nth ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, I ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ n ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ದಿ this one last reading, that is An. Okay, divided by, in the denominator n is there, so I will keep that one as it is. Okay, and this A mean is there na, so this A mean, that can be called as, this is the true value, or standard value of the physical quantity ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ. ಓಕೆನಾ. So because why I can taken this one as true value or standard value, because I have taken n number of readings from the experiment, then I have taken the mean of those readings, so that this mean can be taken as true value or standard value of the physical quantity. Okay, now the absolute error, how can you write that one? So the absolute error in each case, that can be written as, let me write that one as the absolute error in each measurement are written as, so delta A1. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಎರರ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಬರಿಬೋದು, ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ A1 ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ A1 ಮೈನಸ್ A ಮೀನ್. ಸೊ ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಎರರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾನು ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೂ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಹಿಯರ್ difference between the individual measurement. A1 is the individual measurement and A mean is what? That is the true value. okay, or standard value of the physical quantity. In the same way, absolute error in the second measurement, that can be written as delta A2 equals, again, difference between the individual measurement and true value, that is A mean. In the same way, the absolute error in the third reading, delta A3, that can be written as A3 minus A mean. Okay, in the same way up to AN, delta AN, that can be written as AN minus A mean. Okay, it is very simple. It is the difference between the individual measurement and the true value of the physical quantity. Clear? Okay. Now, so here A1, A2, A3 up to N are there now. These are what? These are the individual measurements. And A mean is what? This is the true value. And here delta A1, delta A2, delta A3 up to delta N is there now. These are what? These are the absolute errors in each measurements. Okay. Now, the mean absolute error. So these are what? These are the absolute error in each measurement. Now their mean can be written as delta A mean. That equals, mean ಯಾವ ತರ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಾ? Again, you have to add all these things divided by n. Okay. So now let me take that one as, now instead of writing directly delta A1, let me write that one mod A1. Mod A1 means what? Here delta A1 value is always positive ಅನ್ನಗೆ. ನಾ mod ಹಾಕಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದರ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಏನೋ, ಇದರ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಪ್ಲಸ್ mod delta A2, mod delta A3, okay, up to mod delta AN divided by n number of readings are there. Okay, now ಇದನ್ನು ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಬರಿಬೋದು? ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಮೇಷನ್. ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಮೇಷನ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ಆಸ್ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎ ಮೀನ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಸಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್, ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ 1 ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆನಾ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ 1, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ 1 ಅಪ್ ಟು n is there, and mod of delta ai. Okay, if you take I equals 1 here, delta A1 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. I equals 2 ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ delta A2 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. In the same way, if you take I equals n, you will get the value of the last reading, that is delta AN divided by n. So this is what? This is the mean absolute error. This is the mean absolute error. Now let us see relative error. Let us try to understand the meaning of relative error. So we already understood the meaning of absolute error, and we already saw the expression for the mean absolute error. Okay, now let us try to understand the meaning of relative error. Relative error means if you take the ratio of the mean absolute error and mean value of a physical quantity, then that is what? Relative error. So I can write it is what? It is the ratio of mean absolute error to the mean value of physical quantity. Mean value of physical quantity. That is what? Relative error. Okay. So mathematically we can express that one as relative error equals delta A mean divided by A mean. So here delta A mean means what? This is the mean absolute error. A mean means what? This is the mean value of the physical quantity, or you can call this one as the true value of a physical quantity. If you take their ratios, then that is what? Relative error. Okay, and now if we express this relative error in terms of percentage, if we express this relative error in terms of percentage, then that becomes percentage error. That becomes percentage error.
How to express that one? Percentage error that can be expressed as that equals, ಸೊ ಈ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಎರರ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನಾವು ಪರ್ಸಂಟೇಜ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತದು ಪರ್ಸಂಟೇಜ್ ಎರರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಎರರ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಎ ಮೀನ್ ಇದೆ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಎ ಮೀನ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇಂಟು ಇಫ್ ಐ ರೈಟ್ 100%, that becomes what? Percentage error. So this is the expression for the percentage error. Okay, so these formulas are very very important, and in the examination, so numericals will be asked on this formula.